future brings. I wish I could invent some kind of time machine.
Growing up in Stillwater, Sunday afternoon dinner was family time, and you couldn't miss it, no matter what. If you did, you let down the one person you hated to let down, Mom. I was reminded of my mom's focus on the importance of family dinners shortly after I became White House Chief of Staff in February 2013. And the First Lady called me to say that the evening wrap-up walks I was taking with the President were making him late to family dinner. She expected the President to be home for dinner with her and the girls every night he was in town at 6:30 sharp. And if he wasn't, I would have to answer to her as to why. There's no guidebook for a lot of those jobs in Washington. But let's be honest, those jobs aren't rocket science either. In his great book on Vice President Humphrey, Jim Traub wrote, "He had the charisma of the passionate believer without the stridency of the ideologue. He worked harder than anyone, made more friends than anyone, talked faster and more ardently than anyone," which is kind of like saying Hubert Humphrey was good at his job because he was a Minnesotan. It's not like I learned everything I needed to know in kindergarten about jobs in Washington. But it is that I was wrong to be as worried as I was in 1994 when I moved to Washington about whether a kid from Stillwater, Minnesota could make it there. I'd stop worrying. They say that time will tell. And that's because important lessons like ensuring that your teammates, including if that teammate is the President of the United States, got home in time for dinner with their families, able to recharge and be reminded of what's most important, were ingrained in me by my family, my teachers, my coaches, well before I arrived in Washington. Like my sister Mary, who knew from high school that she would dedicate her life to teaching high schoolers with severe developmental disabilities. Today in retirement, remaining in constant contact with her students and with their families out of a belief that each of us is made in the image of God. Teachers like George Hepner of Stillwater High School, who took a segment of 11th grade English class once a week for quick vignettes about great Americans. Many of them Minnesotans, all of them hardworking, regular people. And teachers like Isla Perlmutter, author and hard-nosed English professor at St. John's, who routinely reminded us of the value of reading and the value of a handwritten note. And coaches like Joe Samuelson at Stillwater High School, a veteran of day one at Omaha Beach on D-Day, and who continued to coach well into his 70s, personifying the link between community service and national strength. And John Gallardi, the St. John's legend and winningest ever college football coach, who taught us the dignity of knowing and addressing each of his players by their first name. Staying focused on and drawing strength from family, making friends, recognizing everyone's worth, working hard, writing thank you notes, treating people with respect. That's what it takes in Washington. And that's what, in memory of its namesake, the Humphrey School teaches in its mission to advance the common good, with its focus on social justice and human rights, and an expertise in planning, leadership, and management.
I need a new perspective, a sense of direction, to find out where this river goes at the end of the day. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Good evening. We're Paul and Susan Nakasone. We're really good friends of Denis and Kari McDonough. And while we can't be with you tonight, we are really thrilled that Denis is being recognized.
He has been an incredible public leader throughout his amazing career. To him, it's always about others and the public, and never about himself.
Now, if you're in DC and you see black suburbans, it's really one thing. There's some elected official or some VIP that's there
And then it hit me. I said, Dennis, those are for you. He goes, yeah, they are. He said, I still walk outside and see him sometimes and think, wow, who's here? Who's important?
After all, he's always Dennis to me and many of us, just a cool dude from Stillwater, Minnesota. That never changed. Always so humble and genuine, and makes us all so proud of him as a fellow Minnesotan.